So I've been seeing a lot of clips of a video going around social media from the Ford CEO talking about a tech shortage.
Well, it's a complicated problem, but there is, let's put it that way, literally 1 million people openings right now. Technicians and dealerships working on cars. At Ford, we have 6,000, probably 400,000 repair technician shortages across the economy. I think it's a couple things. First of all, the productivity has not caught up with the white collar. In fact, it's gone down over the last 20 years. Number two, the jobs aren't as glamorous as a white collar job from college, which is kind of the primary path that our whole economy, investment was for new jobs. And I think the permitting and all the regulations has really stunted the growth of these kind of jobs.
Well, technicians for us have not been a problem to hire. I've got some opinions and some things we've done here to make sure that we're not short on technicians. But let's talk about some of those details. Many years ago, we noticed this as the business started growing. I was having a harder and harder time hiring technicians. My technicians were getting older and either moving on to do some of their own shops or they were getting to the age of retiring. And so we developed a system to basically create our own technicians. And that's what we're lacking in the industry is high schools, specifically colleges, pushing students into those career fields. So they push everybody to go to college, which is great. But in my opinion, I think artificial intelligence is going to take away about half the jobs that people are going to school for anyways. And our biggest demand over the next 15 years is being able to fix stuff with your hands. If you look at the automotive industry, if you want to become a technician, this is a job that requires at least $100,000 in training. It requires $50,000 minimum for tools. These technicians have several $100,000 wrapped up in these toolboxes, the tools, specialty tools. So there's a huge barrier of entry to get into this field. Another big misconception is the pay rate. So people think if I'm going to be a technician, I'm not going to make any money. Right now, I would say if you took my technicians that I'm graduating from my program and you go to the local college and you look at students graduating from college, I would say that the majority of my technicians in 5 years will be earning significantly more money than most of the graduates at our local university. And a lot of places out there are coming up short on hiring technicians. And I ask my friends, I'm like, hey, if you can't hire them, what do you want to pay? And they're wanting to offer $15, $20 an hour. And that's just not going to get the skill level of a technician that you need to fix these cars nowadays. These cars have all kinds of electronics and variable parts that we didn't have in the past. And so the Ford CEO is talking about the backlog, average 2-week backlog across the country.
This morning when I woke up, there were 6,000 bays in our dealerships with no technician. So can't get my car fixed. Nope. 2 weeks. Average wait is 2 weeks. Not because we don't have the parts, we don't have the mechanics.
I would agree with him on that. Most dealerships are backlogged in all brands. Warranty processing is part of that backlog. It takes us as the dealer, the technician, and my accounting staff a lot of work behind the scenes just to get warranty work processed. Another big problem is technicians aren't only just fixing customers' cars at customer pay rates, but they're fixing vehicles under warranty. And a lot of times a simple job like pulling a dash to get in to fix an AC component may pay 3 or 4 hours of warranty time, but that time might take a technician an entire day, especially if it's a technician that's learning. If he's in the first 4 or 5 years of his career, he's not going to be as fast and proficient as those senior techs, and he might get paid 3 or 4 hours for a job that takes him 15. So as a dealer, we have to understand that, work around that, provide good paying jobs for them, and then also, work in the harder jobs and the tougher paying jobs among the techs. But what we'd like everybody to know is it's not necessarily 100% of the dealerships. It is an industry problem, but here at Whiteface Ford, we've done a lot of things in the last several years. I've got a wall full of plaques. All of my guys are certified. We invest several $100,000 in training for every single technician. Every single technician gets as much training as we can physically schedule them for. And they need it. When your cars come in, we want every vehicle to come in and out as fast as possible. But with electronics, it's not as easy as simply looking at something and seeing that it's leaking or broken, replacing the part. There is a ton of electronic diagnostics that go into repairing these vehicles that customers can't see, and it takes a significant amount of training. And so we're happy that we can reward our guys with a healthy wage, do these jobs. We have a fully staffed shop. We have hundreds of cars to work on. People bring their stuff from all over the country. But in addition to that, we got to make it comfortable. So we have air conditioning for all of our guys. We have heat in the wintertime for all the guys. The techs have their own private break room that sales and the rest of the business does not have access to. So they've got a nice little area they can hang out, cook their lunches. So some things we've done in the shop, we've added new lighting. We've added a lot of specialty tools. So the guys, sometimes they have to share. We try to get them as much stuff as possible. Everybody has a laptop. We just recently rewired the shop with high-speed internet. We pull a ton of bandwidth inside this shop. When you do a vehicle update, it's the equivalent of watching 10 Netflix movies within a 30-minute period. So you're downloading hundreds and hundreds of megabytes worth of data to update one of these vehicles. Having a good work schedule, so we don't make the technicians work Saturdays. You know, they do have some rotations they'll fulfill, but they work an office job hours. They're not having to work extremely late at night. They're not on call on the weekends. All those things to incentivize them to come here. So if you take care of your guys, you can find them. We have enough techs that apply that we can actually sort through the most qualified technicians. We get those senior guys in here and then we pair them up with one of our trainees. So we have 4 trainees every year. We put them through a 2-year school. After that 2-year school, we invest another $50,000 or $60,000 into them in off-site training and online training with Ford so that we can fix your vehicles. So, you know, if it's got an engine, if it has electronics in it, no matter what brand, it's gonna break. And we're gonna be here for the future and continue to grow. So at the moment, we are at capacity. Several years ago, we added on to the shop again. We're about to add on to the shop for a 3rd time and continue to grow our capacity. But technicians for us have not been a problem to hire. I think it's just an industry problem of not recruiting the right way and not offering enough benefits to those guys. It's a hard job and you need to reward them for it. And if you do so, you're gonna find the good ones. But it's enough on that topic. It's time to eat. So we have a tenderloin steak, all natural beef out of Farwell, Texas from my friend Fred Smith. I have eaten a steak and a potato every work day for lunch for over a year and a half now. Clean food, gives me plenty of energy. We got long days here. I'm not a steak sauce person, but I love this yellow bird, some spicy sauce. But you know, if you take care of your people, I have every one of my employees' birthdays written down, every one of their anniversary dates written down. And so when we come across those dates of the year, personalize a nice card for them, go see them in person, shake their hand. You know, we appreciate them being here. We're a high-performing team and we appreciate all of the members of our team. Without them, we wouldn't get all the things we get done every day. About a medium cook there. It's good. It's real good. Treat those guys right, they can fix stuff. Because without them, none of us would be driving.